All right, moving on to part 2 of me and Nick's Q&A. He's gonna go on to his second question he has for me.
All right.
Send it, bro.
So, my second question is, why does the ego exist? In other words, what is its purpose if it does have a purpose at all? So why does ego exist?
Why does
if it even is to be worded in that
Why does
framework.
the ego exist? In my experience, the ego exists because it was taught to me since birth, and I can't put the blame on anybody else now.
Yes.
Because at this point, the ego is compulsively acting. But why the first person began to think they were somebody, an ego, a self, to describe why the
ego as a force came into being.
Right, like we can understand that we have egos because we were taught to have them, and at this point it has become a compulsive personified act. But our parents also had these egos that were taught. Their parents taught them to be that ego. Keep following this back and back and back. What, I think that's the real question you're asking is, why is that thing there? Why is there that thing, that ego, first of all, thinking it's somebody. Second of all, teaching other people to be something. Yeah. Okay, so let me think about that one for a second.
Yep.
I talked with my brother a while back, kind of about something along this, and it was along the ideas of, and I'm not very historically accurate and educated, but these are just theories that I've thought of way back when we were first evolving as this sense of community, where a sense of comfort is beginning to arise in this experience we're having, where there's a bunch of food over here, there's a bunch of water over here. Oh, it's hot in there if you get cold. It's cool over here if you get too hot. A perfect comfort zone where you weren't acting out of these feelings, these raw feelings of, cold, I'm hot, I'm hungry, or oh my god, I'm thirsty.
Pure instinct, basically.
Yes, the pure, yes. Imagine the first community of monkey, whatever, Homo sapiens, whatever they were called, that got comfortable.
Damn, yeah.
Like I said, food's over here, water's over here, warmth over here, cold over here. You know what I mean? All protected, no enemies could get in. Weapons, they knew what they were doing, and they got comfortable. What me and my brother talked about is that the second they got comfortable, the second those sensations ceased, boredom, the sensation of boredom was born. What now? What to do now? I'm full, I'm not thirsty, I'm not cold or hot, I'm not sick. What do I do? What do I do? I'm bored. What is happening? And maybe at this point you couldn't communicate with people, making sounds at people, these feelings of boredom or uneasiness with, you know, okay, I'm comfortable. What now? You know, and this is over so many potential generations
Millions of years,
of these things, of getting comfortable, where, you know, kids of the kids who first started getting comfortable, they're running it now, and it's like, what are we doing? You know, I'm fine. I don't need to fight for life anymore. I feel why the ego exists, why it's a thing, is because we got comfortable, and because we got bored.
So we're doing it to entertain ourselves in a manner. That definitely makes sense, dude. Because I mean, you can
totally relate that.
You could apply that logic to our life as Homo sapiens now.
Right.
You could apply that to people engage in this stupid bullshit because it's something to do. It's a drama. It's a dance. It's a play.
Wow.
And it's something that, you know, I think that's
it's
definitely
Leela.
a big part of it.
That's so funny.
But I also think, though, like, as far as what I think is it's a navigation system, you know, I think that's kind of what our like, you know, this idea that I am me and you are you, you know,
that's what it is.
A part of it as well, but it's somehow more advanced than that. I think it's the social aspect, honestly, is what creates, as far as what we refer to as ego, you know, as personality, is that personality is dependent on other people and how they perceive you, and that's a whole different conversation, but it's just,
you know, Hinduism does go off of how don't quote me on this, but Shiva got bored, so he created the whole universe for entertainment, to trick himself into thinking he's all these people doing things, because he just exists. You're God. Imagine being everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? So I guess that's as relatable as that Hinduism thing is. What I was talking about in getting comfortable, getting bored. I think that's why the ego exists. Where the ego came from.
That's very interesting. Yeah.
Feel that's a good way to conclude that question.
Definitely. Yeah.
All right. Cool. So, my third question for you, third and final question, okay, have fun with this one. Is the sense of self a phantom self, or is it the innate, genuine awareness of self?
Ooh, that is a really good question, bro. I'm just going to have to think a minute.
Gunshots.
Well, I would say it depends on what you mean by sense of self. By sense of self, do you mean the
feeling of you being...
The sensational feeling of me being separate from the chair and from you and from the room. Like that sensory...
The feeling that you are someone.
The feeling that
That feeling right there. You feel that? That you're somebody? Is that a phantom self? Or is that just the innate awareness of self?
I would say that is awareness of self, honestly, because like well, I don't know, honestly. I feel like it could be like I think it is the innate awareness of self, because where else would it come from? You know what I mean? Like where else would you get that idea of being? You know, it's your consciousness filtered through an individual person. That's what we are, and it's not necessarily our awareness, but it's self-consciousness rather than the consciousness that is our human awareness that underlies everything. It's the self-consciousness. It's the consciousness that's filtered through this self, and by self, that is the idea that we can't perceive everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I can't perceive what it's like to be your notebook, or what it's like to be your
me
table.
Looking at you right now.
Exactly. So there is a foundational degree of not necessarily of self,
yes.
But that's the only way we could really articulate that, and that's what I think that is.
Let me boil the question down just a little more. is the sense of self who you are?
No, because well, actually, I would say yes, because what else are we than senses? What else are we other than the feelings that we experience? You know, if we are awareness and we are experience, what else could that be? You know what I mean? It's just
sensations take place in awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Awareness knows sensation.
Mm-hmm.
Who you are is a sensation.
Mm-hmm.
Awareness knows that,
Mm-hmm.
sees that.
Mm-hmm.
Who you are innately is the seen, the known of the experience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that sense is that sense of self is the known.
The sensation isn't aware.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm not saying that the sensation is aware. I'm saying the sensation is an aspect of you that is known by the awareness. And if you identify as what is being known by the awareness, then that sense of self, what separates that from your sense of, you know, as far as talking from being mindful, what separates that from your sense of anything of your body, of your mind? It's a mental stimuli.
Like, awareness isn't one of the senses.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But you could imagine it as one of your senses, you know, like this super sense. But like,
that's not what it is. That's a conceptualization.
Right,
of
right.
But what I'm saying is that senses are perceived inherently through awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And so if this sense of self, if we're talking about, you know, a physical, you know, sense, what makes that different from my sense of my hand rubbing on the chair? What
Mm-hmm.
separates that from the sense of me hearing the gunshots outside?
Right.
You know?
Who you think you are is sensed through awareness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
It goes right by it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I think...
But the thing is, we also, I don't mean to interrupt you, but
No,
we also, we cling to that and we create the
that specific
narratives.
sense.
Yes.
Yes. And that really is what it is clinging to this specific sensation and thinking that's who you are.
Mm-hmm.
But all this stuff is running through
Mm-hmm.
who you are.
Mm-hmm.
What I think, who I think
Mm-hmm.
we are.
Mm-hmm.
Everything we think we are is running through who we actually are.
Yes.
And it's kind of like you said
Mm-hmm.
in a conversation we weren't recording, it's like a background character.
Yes.
It's not really picked up on
Mm-hmm.
as
Mm-hmm.
much.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
You feel that's a good way to conclude that one?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, definitely.
So that was my final question. You can
All
move
right.
on to your final one.
So, my final question is if there is no, you know, if our ego is not who we truly are, is that this personality and this identity is not what we truly are, what happens when we die? Is there something, you know, that ceases to be? Is it like what?
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Mhm.
So essentially what happens when we die if...
Ego is not really what we are.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And again, we don't know what happens when you die anyway.
Right.
It's just
That's kind of what I'm like
it's just
working...
philosophizing
Right.
with that idea of if there is no ego, is there something that happens?
Okay, so remember how we were talking earlier about how you go to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
you wake up in the morning, and you say, nothing was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows that? And
Mhm.
when you have dreams, I had dreams last night.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows that? Who knows the differentiation between I had dreams and nothing was happening?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that thing is the string of awareness that has been with you
Mm-hmm.
your whole being, and the memories of where this awareness came from
Mm-hmm.
are kind of like your memories of dreams,
Mm-hmm.
in that, you know, you go as far back as you can, and you're like this like 2 or 3 year old thing that's already existing, but it's
Mm-hmm.
like I've been aware for 2 more years than that, you know. Where did that come from?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that thing stays with you. That thing stays with you even through
Mm-hmm.
sleep. You think, oh, I lost consciousness.
You just don't remember.
Right. You can't conceptualize a lack of input.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's all that's going on, really. Awareness is there. It's like a blank screen.
Mm-hmm.
When there's nothing on the screen, does the screen disappear?
Damn, dude, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And then some nights images pop up on the screen.
And that's stimuli.
Right. Input. Now, that thing, and remember we're philosophizing, has been with me right now, up until right now.
Yes.
And we know we're gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
We are all gonna die. All forms of life die, and I, you know, beyond concept, am a form of life.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And when I die, first of all, the first thing that's gonna die is what I identify as.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what I identify as, deep down, is still this sense of self.
Yes.
And I feel that in the biological death, the sense of self that identifies with this
As
thing
something.
that's dying.
Mm-hmm.
I am dying. You know? While awareness, the screen, while this is all going on the screen, is just
Mm-hmm.
blankly observing it, yes. And this whole psychological death is taking place of I'm dying. I'm my body. I'm not gonna exist. Where am I gonna go? Am I gonna go to hell? Am I just not? You know, is nothing gonna happen? Oh my God, that'd be so scary. Okay. Let's imagine. You'll either be, when you die,
Mm-hmm.
you'll either be mind blown, or you won't have to worry about anything.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean when I say that?
Could you explain?
Yes, yes. Everything we've been taught, you know, death is this scary thing coming towards us inevitably. And
Yep.
imagine I'm dead, but something's still happening. And let's not conceptualize what,
Mm-hmm.
because that'll just get very complicated. Let's imagine you find yourself aware
Mm-hmm.
after dying.
Mm-hmm.
Your whole psychological structure will fall to shit.
Mm-hmm.
Completely fall apart if it hadn't already.
Mm-hmm.
But then, as it finds itself still aware, it could, in that moment again,
Mm-hmm.
either completely break apart or see a whole new side of things. Oh my God, I am still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Here I am. I wasn't my body.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that's if something's happening when you die,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
after you die.
Mm-hmm.
And that, regardless,
Mm.
I feel is going to blow the minds of common Westerners like me and you.
Definitely, yeah.
I can't say that, you know, people who practice Hinduism and things of that sort, they probably die and are like, oh, hey, what's up, guys? You know, I'm just going in for another one. I don't know if it's like that, but you know, somebody like me, where I am right now, if I was to die and still be remaining afterwards, I'd be fucking mind blown. I wouldn't know what was going on, and
definitely,
if you're not mind blown, you have nothing to worry about because who you thought you were doesn't exist anymore.
Definitely.
That is, you know, even if something's still happening, who you thought you were is not what's happening anymore. And I guess that's the way I would conclude what happens when you die if you aren't your ego. You're either going to be mind blown or not have to worry about it. Is how I would put that.
Because I would say if it's either that the awareness exists or it's just nothing. You know, worst case scenario, it's just
you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, I'm glad you get what I'm saying when I say that.
It would be essentially like sleep is what some people would you could compare it to. But even then,
that would be a complete return to, you know, even then that awareness of is there.
Yeah, even
you know what I mean,
exactly,
and you don't have to worry about it because it's what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Like before you were born. I think I've had this talk with you before, but like if you talk with an atheist enough about what happens when you die, oh, it's like before you were born. But here you are, you know, out of that space that you say is death. Oh, when you die, you just go back to where you were before you were born. And here you are. So when I die, I am in a space that goes somewhere. Because you know what I'm talking about? If they think
it's just like sleep, you're going to a place that's like sleep.
Right, homie.
You can't,
right.
It's like you can't not have. It would be like the experience of nothingness. How do you experience no thing? But if you did, like you said, you have nothing to worry about. There's nothing, you know. If there is nothing, then there is no, you know.
I don't think memory justifies existence. Is another good way I think.
I actually had a thought about that. Is that you know, going back to what we were talking about as, you know, you're not, you know, we don't think that we're conscious when we're asleep because we don't remember it, right?
Right.
But what is memory, right? Memory is, it's these experiences that we have learned from you know, memory is this information that we have learned from experience, and this memory layers and layers over time. And what I think part of what ego is memory, because it's this, it's these things that through your experiences, it's these concepts that you apply to yourself, and eventually through these memories you create this character who is shaped by those memories. You know, your likes and your dislikes. You know, you had a good experience with something, so you like it, and a bad experience with something else, so you don't like it, and it's this, and it weaves this tapestry of identity through your memory, right? And who's to say that, you know, you don't remember, you know, you don't remember anything when you die, but that's just because it's like when you were sleeping, you were still aware, you just don't remember it because there is no ego remembering. But who's to say,
that's, you know, a good tie-in.
What if you were to say reincarnation is real and you were reborn as something, you wouldn't be able to remember your past life because those memories are concepts. They're egotistical.
Yeah, you'd have to make them up in that lifetime.
Who's to say that your awareness is not something that is flowing between lives? However the fuck that would even work. I honestly don't understand how that would work, or if that's even how it does.
That would be another good topic.
Yes.
Reincarnation.
Yes, definitely, yeah. But anyway, I feel like that you know, your ego is a memory, and who's to say that after death that the memory will go away, but the awareness what was there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, that's so fucking cool, man. That's
Yeah.
a great way to put it.
Mhm.
That was your last question, yeah?
That was my last question. Yeah.
Yep. So I think that wraps up our Q&A.
Sweet.
Thank you so much, man. I
Yeah.
feel like that was an awesome video.
That really was, dude. Yeah. Thank you.
Number 2 featuring Nick, and I'm sure he'll be back to record some more with me. So thank you again, Nick, and thank you all for watching. I will be back with more.
See you guys.